Remains the leading cause of preventable deaths globally, and in Uganda, the tobacco tax stands at just 29.9%, far below the World Health Organization's recommendations of 75%. Uganda National Health Users and Consumers Organization is advocating for a tax policy that aligns with these international standards to reduce consumption, save lives, as well as increase government revenue. Joining us to have this discussion is the Executive Director with the Uganda National Health Users and Consumers Organization, Robina, and we want to find out from you, when it comes to the tobacco taxation that we have in Uganda currently, what are the damages that it has done so far?
For the last 7 years, actually, we have not increased taxing tobacco. So we are at 35%, as you said, and WHO recommendation is 70%. That means that more people can buy tobacco. That means that young people can begin to smoke. That also means that we have more death, because tobacco kills 50% of its consumers. That is the intended result. So we are looking at taxation to increase Uganda's rate. Actually, if you look at the global picture, Uganda's performance is at 0 in terms of taxation. But we have a very strong law, and we can also be able to increase that taxation so that it becomes less affordable, especially for people who cannot afford it. And also the young people are not recruited. We don't have fresh initiation, but also that Uganda can get money from taxation. There's no reason why other countries should tax tobacco and Uganda doesn't.
Okay, all right. Then how is the tobacco taxation considered such a critical tool in reducing tobacco use?
So if you can't buy, if you increase tax, it means that you increase the price, the sale price. And that means that for many people, you may have to make a choice between buying something for school, for your child, and buying tobacco. So we are looking at reducing that. But also 7,000 people in 2011 died in Uganda from tobacco smokes. We want to reduce the death, we want to reduce the suffering, we also want to bring in more money that can help promote public health.
Okay. As an organization, what specific changes are you pushing for in Uganda's tobacco tax policy?
One of the challenges for tobacco taxation has been the tier system. That tobacco industry has been able to manipulate the system so that you have less tax for the most cheap products, so that poorer people can continue to buy and consume. And you can also move from one tier. If you are smoking Sportsman and it becomes more expensive, you are able to move to the next one. What we are recommending and requesting government to do is to abolish the tier system so that we have one taxation policy for all products, and we are able to reduce consumption in that matter.
All right, Robina, should the government put into consideration and even implement your recommendations, what are the health benefits as well as the economic benefits to the country?
So if you reduce consumption, first of all, we also grow tobacco. If you reduce consumption, it means that you have more healthy people, you also have more money in the pocket, but government also has more money to get from tobacco taxation.
Okay, all right. And finally, the additional revenue from the higher tobacco taxes, how can they be effectively utilized for public health?
We are requesting Ministry of Finance to begin to think about specific items when we collect tax. That if we collect from tobacco, we should be able to use it specifically to target the public health aspect. The research shows that for every dollar we collect from tobacco as tax, we spend $4 addressing the health problems that relate that come from tobacco consumption. So we want to reduce that. We want to increase taxation so that government can have more money on its hands and support public health, but we also want to prevent younger people because tobacco kills 50% of its users. So the industry is trying to recruit more. When 50% die, they need to recruit new ones who will replace those who have died. We need to address that.
All right. Thank you so much, Robina, who is the Executive Director with the Uganda National Health Users and Consumers Organization. And she has made a very strong point and advocacy towards the young people, given the fact that our census did give us some shocking results, giving us a primary population of 50% being young people. And that means that there's a lot of work to be done. A tax increment on tobacco is one of those that can actually reshape a healthier Uganda. That brings us into a break here on NTV at 1. We'll return shortly.